Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for being here this afternoon. I know it's a Sunday, taking the time away from your family, and some of you are watching football and everything, but I thought it was very important that I addressed a lot of things that's out there regarding the rally and tally for tomorrow, that's scheduled for tomorrow. The first thing I will say is that Polk County Public School System, we were prepared for 600. We have been planning since November, and we have worked with our sub-provider to make sure that we had classes of 600 after we spoke with our union president of how many possible people that they thought would board their buses at that time. So we were prepared. The sub-provider was prepared. They actually had it covered at 600, a little bit over 600. They offered incentives to those subs to ensure that they were there in the classroom so that those teachers that were going to take part in the rally and tally on Monday that had RSVP for the bus would be able to do that, and we had their classrooms covered, making sure that we took care of our children as our parents sent them to school to us. What happened after we returned from break, the numbers actually skyrocketed to where they doubled within a couple of days. That left us at a point to where we had to figure out within just a matter of days, how do we cover an additional 1,000 positions for our teachers that are going to the rally on tally on Monday. And what we did was, at that point, we looked at all of our district staff, deploying every district staff that we had into our schools to be sure that we had those positions covered. As the numbers continued to move forward and increase, there was not an idea that we were going to be able to cover every single one. Yes, I know safety and security was always at the forefront. We had already spoken with the sheriff's office regarding what do we do to ensure safety and security of our campuses. At that time, the sheriff was providing additional support for our campuses for safety and security. But as the numbers rose, then it came about that possibility of putting those individual deputies in the classrooms to help provide instruction. One of the things I wanted to make sure was that as we were deploying people from the district staff, looking at putting some of the sheriff's deputies in the classrooms to provide instruction, I wanted to ensure that those positions, they were able to go into those classrooms. So as the numbers continued to skyrocket, and as I worked with the officials with the guidance on how do we increase our plan to cover the numbers, not only from doubling, they began to triple at one point, what do we, so that we can have our classrooms covered, and ensuring that we're putting people in the classroom without the certification. And that was the conference call, well, sorry, not a conference call, that was a call that the chancellor and I had that conversation regarding ensuring that we had people in those classrooms for our students. The letter that came out Friday, which was a letter that was not actually issued by me, the letter was not requested from me. I would never threaten any of my teachers and any of my staff. I am a pro-education person. I love all my teachers, all my staff. I merely wanted to make sure after we got that letter, and it was late Friday, I merely wanted to make sure that our staff understood what that letter was. We were advised to send it, and it was sent. If it was sent and many people took that as a threat, that was not a threat from me. It was only providing information about the law. As many of our teachers have actually said back to some of my staff and myself, they were not aware of the law. That was information to provide them regarding the law. That was not a threat from me. And that was the Florida Statute 447.201. What I would say was, a lot of people ask, can you close schools? Why can't you close schools? Why don't you close schools? We had it covered prior to going into the winter break, so we were okay with that. Once we came back in a couple of days into the week after we returned is when the numbers started to double. One, there was not time to get back into negotiation, and so that we can make sure that we alert our parents, our businesses, and our parents were working, and we want to make sure that if we were going to change the calendar, they were aware of that. We didn't have time to ensure that. Also, when talking with DOE, the question was asked, were there any school districts in the state closing for Monday? And the answer I received back was no, there was not. So we were actually extending our plan to now include all of our district staff, as well as the sheriff's office that was going to be coming into the schools to ensure that we had coverage. We had some schools where you had merely all the staff called out. You could have a staff of 140, and you had 120 that had already called out. So we wanted to make sure we had safety, we had classrooms covered, and that we were going to give the parents the right to have instruction that we can and provide it in our classrooms come Monday.
Did you
Question.
anticipate that so many of your teachers would be going to this? I know that a lot of them put in vacation with
Right.
family, so the other half
Right.
made it out a few years before.
We,
What does that tell you about the district, just knowing how many people are
We
going?
knew about pretty close to between 600-700. We did know about that. I support them, going up, rallying for more raises. That is a support. I support that. We knew about those numbers. It was the numbers when they trickled and got higher than that. We didn't anticipate that, and there was no time to recover within a matter of a couple of days of trying to see what do you do within about 2 to 3 days to accommodate the numbers that have tripled.
Superintendent, what letter grade would you give yourself and your executive staff for handling this situation?
A letter grade for that. Prior to going to the break, we were prepared. We had been preparing since November for this. It was what happened afterwards. Could the communication that came out late Friday night, could that be handled differently? Yes, it could have been, but it was late Friday night. I knew the teachers were gone. We were advised to send that communication out. It had to go out prior to Monday.
Does the state have the right to fire teachers, or is that solely up to the
DOE does not hire and not fire teachers, nor did I say I was hiring and firing or threatening teachers.
So now that you have the legal guidance from the state, teachers want to hear clearly, like, are you even going to pursue firing them if they go to this rally?
I've never said I was going to fire them or threaten them. The information that they got, the opinion that came back from DOE was the opinion of notifying them and informing them of the law. That's what that was about. It was called a strike at some point in different places, and that was really informing them of the law. And I think it is my obligation to make sure that I inform our teachers and I educate them. If that was a statute and it was something that they needed to know about, it is my obligation to make sure I inform them of that. I wanted to protect them, to make sure they knew about the law. That's why I made sure they got it as I was requested to send.
Ms. Bird, are you planning to go to Tallahassee tomorrow or go to the Munn Park rally tomorrow?
No, I will be with our children at the schools tomorrow, going around making sure that our schools are providing coverage and making sure wherever we add any additional holes. And I will be in the classroom myself. I have already committed myself to a classroom if need be, so that the teachers that are going to the rally, they are going to the rally. As they aboard the buses 7 a.m. Monday morning, I wish them safe travels and look forward to when they come back with our children.
So you're saying there will be no retribution of any kind for any educators?
I did not, when that email went out, the email went out for information. I did not threaten any of my staff, nor would I threaten any of my staff.
So none of these educators will be facing any type of retribution?
I did not threaten any of my staff, nor will I. That was that.
Will there be any educators that will face any retribution, yes or no?
Not from me. They're not facing any retribution from me.
Some of your staff, even though you say it wasn't a threat and you were sending it as information, some of them felt threatened and they feel like they would like an apology for how this was handled. Are you willing to issue one, or do you feel like the communication is going to be handled better?
And I said that. I said it was late Friday. I know teachers, they go home on Friday. A lot of our teachers, they're off on the weekends. I don't expect them to be, checking phones and all and their emails until Monday morning again. Again, it could have been handled differently. If we had got it earlier Friday, it would have went out earlier Friday. So, yes, I'm sorry it went out late Friday to them, but I wanted them to have that information as soon as I got it. We did not sit and hold that information when we received it.
In hindsight, as we look at any lessons that may have, maybe learned out of this whole experience, do you think it would have been better for you guys to let teachers know, hey, this is the cutoff when we need to know if you're going to go to this rally or not, or how would you have done things differently in the future?
Well, we did work with our union president, and she had already told us the estimated numbers that it would be, and that's what we planned for. We didn't plan for when we came back it was going to triple. We planned for the estimated numbers that she told us at that time.
In the future, do you plan on maybe handling things differently, or do you wish that you had just made this a personal day well in advance?
We're going to discuss that, and we're also going to have conversation with our union president. How do you, this has happened. We got to move beyond this, but we also got to plan if it does happen again. But that takes just more than myself planning. It's going to take with the union. We have a calendar, and that's going to be the calendar committee as we set our calendar as well, looking at those days.
For parents who've just seen this play out over the last few days, a lot of them are confused, some are frustrated. what's your message to parents?
Parents, we will be having school. We have to have so many instructional time by law. As you know, we've already been forgiven our storm days for instructional hours. So we have to make sure, in order for our students to have the proper credits awarded to them at the end of the year, they have the seat time. So we will be having school. I can tell you that we are having our classrooms where principals had, plans made. So we're looking at that. We have plans already made. We have additional staff that will be in schools tomorrow, as well as the sheriff. He has, I believe it's 30 deputies that's coming in. He'll explain it a little bit more, not just the safety side, but they're going to be in the classroom to give that experience as well.
What's your response to the petition on change.org where there's lots of comments and thousands of signatures and they're asking for your termination?
Stephanie, my goal right now is let's get in school on Monday and let's provide, the quality education, or let's provide an experience for students on Monday that we can. Okay.
Do you regret sending that email out on Friday?
Do I regret sending the email? The email asked that we advise staff. The email had to go out either way between Friday or Monday, and they were going on Monday. We had to advise staff of the statute, and I wanted to make sure my staff understood the statute. Okay. Sheriff, did you want to say something?
It's good to be with you on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, could be watching football, but here we are. I want to reiterate that the first thing that is the duty and responsibility of the sheriff and his deputies is to make sure that our children are safe and secure, as well as our students' teachers. I love the teachers. I'm a product of this school system. I think they work miracles every day. As a result of their work, we've put people on the moon. We've discovered cures for some cancers. And it all started in classrooms just like this by these wonderful, dedicated folks. I'm excited. We can never pay school teachers, law enforcement officers, or nurses enough money. So I support their efforts and their legislative efforts to get more money. Let me set that aside. My duty and responsibility is to make sure there's a safe learning environment while the schools are open, and that's what I've clearly communicated to Ms. Bird as well as all of the staff members at the schools. I'm excited about the opportunity to send 30 of our deputies, they all have either bachelor's or master's degrees, into the schools, not just for safety and security, but to interact all day long with the kids. I think that's great. We have the opportunity one-on-one to recruit for the future, and I never want to miss a recruiting opportunity. And so we get to have a full day with the students, and we're excited about that while their teachers are away taking care of legislative business. In addition to that, our guardians, our school resource officers, our school resource deputies are going to be staffing as they always are. And we are significantly aware that it's going to be a school day, but it's not going to be a normal school day because some of their teachers are going to be away on legislative issues. So we'll be extra hypersensitive to making sure the environment's safe tomorrow while the teachers do their thing. But I'm excited. I am really looking forward to the opportunity to augment and ensure the kids have a robust, exciting day at school with our deputies, and we in turn can create some more trust and relationships, and it's a pretty awesome event.
What are you going to do to make sure your high schools are safe considering the gun incident on Friday with all these teachers out?
Do you know, nothing changes because the classrooms are staffed. On Friday, we had an unfortunate incident where a student chose to bring a firearm to school at Lake Region and threatened to shoot another student. He ran, but the school safety program worked because another student saw something and said something, and immediately we put the school on lockdown. That student that brought the firearm to school to threaten to kill another student was quickly detained, as well as other students. Now, how did that occur? It occurred because of a terrific staff at Lake Region High School. It occurred because they had cameras in the area, and we were able to tell that they were passing off what turned out to be a book bag with the firearm. That's right, the guy who brought the firearm to school passed it off, and they hid it from us. This all started about 8:45 in the morning. We didn't find the gun until about 1:04 in the afternoon. We immediately neutralized the threat because of the infrastructure and the training at the school, not only of the teachers, but of the students. I can't applaud the student enough that saw the firearm and came forward to the school resource deputy immediately. A potential tragedy was averted because of the training we provide the teachers and the staff, the infrastructure to be able to watch for emergencies, and the response by the sheriff's office. We had as many as 40 deputies on the campus on Friday. So we're really excited to tell you that the system worked. Should the student have brought the gun on campus? No, but he's being held accountable. He's locked up in juvenile detention, as are the other students that were in possession of the firearm, why they tried to hide it from us. So they weren't successful. They're being held accountable for serious felonies, and our victim is safe. So at the end of the day, the system worked, and we're proud of that.
So on Monday, are you going to have like
Nothing changes.
triple?
Nothing changes on Monday. It's a school day. We're going to have our security in place that we always have in place. We're going to have students in classrooms, and it's going to be a good school day. It's going to be an exciting school day for my 30 deputies that get to interact in the classrooms that they're assigned by the school administration. But nothing's different. It's going to be safe, and it's going to be secure, and the kids are going to have a good day at school, and the teachers are going to go to Tallahassee and interact with their legislators, and hey, that's what government's all about.
Sheriff, are they working overtime?
No, they're not. We are reassigning those 30 deputies. Most of them are detectives, and simply put, for those of you who would be arrested on Monday, we're going to arrest you on Tuesday.
So for teachers are asking for more money, bringing in deputies costs more money. Can you talk about how that's being paid for?
There's no money. There's no additional money. These people, these detectives are all working on Monday. Instead of following up on their cases on Monday, they're going to be teaching in the classroom on Monday, and they're going to be doing community service on Monday, and they're going to be recruiting future deputies on Monday. So I think it's just totally awesome opportunity for us to help the teachers, to help the superintendent, the school staff. I think it's great from our benefit. Anytime we can help the community, anytime we can create a greater, more safe environment, anytime we can have a learning experience, it's good for our deputies to be able to interact in those classrooms so they can go back and talk to their colleagues and understand the teachers' perspectives. The teachers have a difficult job, and you know what? They work miracles every day. I'm proud of our teachers and our staff, so I take this as one more opportunity of a life lesson and to support our teachers and our school staff.
And Sheriff, I want to make sure I understand this. These detectives will actually be teaching these elementary school classrooms, and what's the age range? Like kindergarten or what?
Attackers? You said attackers. These attackers will be teaching
Detectives.
deputies. It's been a long day. I've had those days. 30 deputies have been designated to help in the classroom if there's a classroom vacancy. I understand the 30 of them have already been designated. So yes, so we'll be able to have interaction with the students, the children, if you will. And at the end of the day, whenever this is over with, the children will have had a whole day to spend with a deputy in a uniform. And we've had an opportunity to meet new friends tomorrow.
And also, you said the 30 detectives. Are there any other extra deputies that you're going to have in the schools, or is it just those 30 detectives?
Well, once again, you want me to write this down so you can see it clearly? guardians, school resource officers, school resource deputies that are normally there are going to be there. We're going to have 30 additional that are going to help in classrooms scattered throughout different schools. That's also extra security. And obviously, we are making all of our deputies and law enforcement officers aware that some of our teachers are going to go to Tallahassee, but there's going to be staff in those classrooms. So it's not like we are leaving an environment that's not safe. It is going to be a safe environment. We're going to have a school day tomorrow. So everybody take a deep breath. It's government. People are going to talk to their legislators about pay raises, and I support all the money we can give the teachers to teach our children. Because you know what? Nothing's more important in the world to me than my grandchildren, and I want them to have the best teachers with the best pay and the best benefits, because they're the ones that's going to give my grandchildren the opportunity to prosper in the future. It was teachers that gave me the opportunity to prosper. If it wasn't for them in this county, in these schools, I couldn't be standing here before you today. And I might add, they were very patient with me, because I was one of those dudes that, like to, charge mountains, play football, not sit in my seat. So they did a pretty darn good job with me.
I guess, Superintendent, you mentioned in your statement that you worked with some of the police stations as well. But
Right.
seems like those detectives are
Right.
only going to be in elementary schools. What about the middle school?
So our Office of Safe Schools work with the 17 municipalities and their chiefs of police to alert them to make sure that they know that because of the absence that we'll have, to make sure that they had their people in place, and if there was any additional need from the 17 municipalities, they did. And I would tell you that we did do plans for our additional staff that's going into school that were not classroom teachers. The district staff did work with plans, but this, all of this just didn't materialize in 1 week. We have been working up to that. And so for our 700 teachers that are boarding the bus, I believe the number is still right around 700 in the morning, again, I say to them, safe travels. I support them going up, with their rally going up to fight for more money. We do need more money in the classrooms. And I applaud them, and I say, thank you for going up on behalf of Polk County for that. Any more questions? You had a question? I saw this right here. Okay, thank you. Okay.